more or less they share boundaries. They're in the same place. Kireke Estate Limited had the bigger chunk of land in Kireke, and I think records show that most of the area we're talking about was actually at one time owned by Kireke Estate Limited, from whom we obtained the lease. But like she's explained, in 2011 we bought out what they call a reversionary interest, meaning National Housing now owns the land in perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
Yes.
I get to the issue of tenants.
Yes, please.
Both the law and the interest.
Yes, please.
National Housing acquired this land, as you speak, by 1968.
Yes.
By the promulgation of the Constitution of 1995, there were tenants seated on this land, right?
No tenants.
We have documentary proof.
It was an open.
It was an open parcel. I can give you a history.
When did people move onto the land?
Okay, in 1994, the government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Internal Affairs, contacted National Housing, and the request was for a lease of 40 acres from National Housing. Indeed, they acquired the lease, and part of the agreement was to go with the barracks, the police barracks, part of VCCU that you see today. So we leased them 40 acres. Following the fallout from the war in the north, a number of internally displaced people relocated to part of that site. Again, with an understanding between National Housing and the government of Uganda, what people, residents mostly call actually quarters. Most of them come from the displaced people from the north. Now, another lease was given out to the Materials Laboratory, to Ministry of Works, and in exchange, National Housing acquired the premises it sits on today at Plot 7 industrial area. So I'm giving that history to further confirm that yes, the land has always been National Housing. But you asked when the people start settling on that land. In 2006, that's the first wave of people that settled on this land. Most of them claiming they were veterans, and like Betty explained, that the king had given out land. A number of adverts were put in the papers to advise people that actually the land as an owner, and we still have again there is proof to that. So there's a documented evidence.
So you're saying that these people illegally moved onto this land?
Yes.
Yeah,
they did not buy the Abibanja from anyone?
Yeah, no, actually, a few people who are looking for survival did move onto that land, and after moving onto that land, they did convince other people who are currently settled on that land and have put up some nice structures that land belongs to the Kabaka. So the whole idea was that when you settle on Kabaka's land, there's no title, you only pay some what they call in Uganda busuru, but you pay some money into the kingdom coffers, and then you stay there and have your developments there. So it was a trick used by fraudsters to sell that land to them. So unfortunately, most people never went to verify the fact that land was for
this is what I'm hearing. Yeah. These people seated on this land are illegal occupants of the property, right?
Yes, they are.
When they moved onto the land, National Housing was in the country, was available. It did not stop them from occupying the land.
It did, like he just explained to you.
Did you? Because if you did, then they wouldn't be there.
Well, we did, like he explained earlier on. We did run some newspaper warnings, then even on-site evictions. Some attempts were made earlier on. Some people who were there very well remember that. Letters were given to them. But why people have been asking us, what were you waiting for all this time?
Yeah.
Just like any other organization, everyone has a strategic plan, and they have plans for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years, and so on.
But you see, if you allow people unencumbered to sit on land, they develop the land, they are resident there, then you run two risks. One, in all human possible ways, where do you evict 10,000, 20,000 families to?
Well, that
is
number
one.
Point.
Number two, we ask, where have you been when these people occupied this property?
Well, that brings us to this
Because there
point.
is a security problem. Do you throw them away? There is the humanitarian problem. They've been seated on the land. They developed this land. You sat back and watched.
Yeah, that brings us to this point. The purpose of desensitization, first of all, is to inform everyone who is on that land. Would not plan to evict anybody. Like David explained earlier on, this is a project that will be, it's a joint project between the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. Unfortunately, Ambassador Kalibala was not able to be with us this evening. She was supposed to be here, but she's the Director of Housing in the ministry and also the Chairperson Board, National Housing. This is a joint project.
So what is in this for the people?
Yeah,
let me ask. Because you have 10,000 or so families seated on this land. How do they benefit? Because we can no longer debate their existence. They are seated on the land. They have equitable interest on this land as we speak. What is their take in your project, David?
I'll start with the fact that you rightly put it, that the mere fact that they've developed property on the land gives them equitable interest. We do recognize that, and we would want to emphasize that indeed this project does not have as one of its phases what we call eviction. A slum redevelopment project seeks to redevelop the land with the people on ground without evicting them out. This is how we envisage it. We are cognizant of the fact that all this land is not actually occupied. We do have facts that there is about 20 acres on site, and this is how we plan to use that 20 acres. We'll use it as a decanting site. This project will be phased, and we're not moving in one day and they raise all these structures. Once we do have facts of registered people, how many are on the ground, how many are willing to be part of this project, how many actually do not want to be part of the project. So we'll have a verification and evaluation exercise.
I'll come to that. Viewers, I'm going to take a break, and when we come back from the break, how many are willing to be part of this project? Possibly everyone.
Yes.
But can they afford? Because slum improvement across the world sounds very, very decent until you get to the prices. You're talking to people that have a house possibly worth 10 million shillings.
Yes.
And you're going to build a property. Is the property going to be worth 10 million? Is it going to be substitutable with what I had? Are you giving me the top apartment on the block you're building to replace the land I was seated on? Don't go away.